Hey everybody, it's Todd again, and this is vlog number six. Glad to be making another vlog on what I'm doing in my basement, growing salad greens and baby greens, microgreens, so that my family of four can continually eat salad. It's great. It works out well, and it's really growing, and I'm really happy the way things are working out. Today I just wanted to go over a few things that I've learned, just kind of give you an update of where things are, show you some of the plants that I'm growing, show you how things are progressing with the greens that are growing and how I'm planting those, and trying to cycle all the growth that's going on so that we have continuous greens, all from just a 5-shelf system that I put up that's got hydroponics and also uses soil-based growing using nutrient that I'm working with the hydroponics nutrient, putting some of that into the soil at a very low level. So just want to go over a few things. Let's get into it. To start off, I'll just give you a quick update of what we got growing, things that I'm adding into the system, types of plants that I'm adding as things are growing, and cycling new plants into the system. You'll notice we've got parsley's growing real well here hydroponically. We've got romaine lettuce that's been growing. You'll probably see that in my other videos that it's been growing for weeks now. We just keep picking off of it. This one right here, my wife completely chopped the top off and took the head that was there. It's now regrowing, so we actually have regrowth, and that's only within 3 days. So it's pretty amazing that it can actually do that. Some other ones I've had that we chopped off didn't do so well and they just died. But this one is actually growing back. I wouldn't suggest, if you're going to grow romaine lettuce in hydroponics, don't go chopping the whole thing off and expecting it to grow back wonderfully. Typically what will happen is it just rots right at the base and then it falls out. These, what we do is we just keep taking the leaves off the edges and it works out really well. We've got the rainbow chard here. This has been growing for literally 3 months in dirt. It's going really well. We've got kale growing up here, and that's doing well. We've got romaine lettuce that I planted in dirt. It's growing in a small amount of dirt, and I'm putting nutrient into the water that I'm feeding that. And that romaine lettuce is actually doing well too. I'm cutting that down now, starting to cut it, starting to use it as baby lettuce, and it's really, really good. And then we've got chard, Swiss chard here growing. That's been growing for quite a while too. We just keep picking at that, and it just keeps growing back and growing back. The nutrient in the soil is really helping that out. We've got microgreens. These microgreens have been growing for about 3 weeks now. We've been cutting them and using them in salads as well, and then we wash them really well before we eat them. This is a flat of mixed salad green lettuce. It's a nice flat, and it's really thick, and it's got lots of nutrients in it. Get another thing of lettuce growing down here. This is green star lettuce. It's going to be kind of curly lettuce. And then I've got new rock wool growing in here. This rock wool's got I'm starting to put together some spinach and growing more lettuce in that, and those will go up here, and they'll actually get placed into these where these pebbles are, and I'll put the rock wool in there once they start growing. And then you'll notice one of the things I've done differently is if you looked at any of my other videos, you'd notice that I had a white top on this this bucket that I had growing the hydroponic lettuce and things in. I've noticed that the roots don't like the fact that the light is coming through the white top. So what I did was I took some liner. It's just some liner plastic, and I cut that to the size of the top of the bucket, or whatever you want to call it. It's water. The water is in, and I sized that to the top, and then I cut holes in where the actual neti cups, where these neti cups are going in. And that's worked out really well, and I hope that that really helped the roots. The roots should be wider and should really grow well without the light getting through the top, because the roots really don't like that light coming through, and they start to get root rot, and it offers up all kinds of problems. This will hopefully help that a lot. It's just something I learned in the last month or so is roots do not do well when you've got light coming through, so you want to try to keep the light out as much as possible. Another thing I wanted to talk about today is cycling of what you're growing. It's one of the things I've learned is you have a very small amount of space. Got literally 3 shelves of growth going on here. I've got all different types of lettuce greens. I've got microgreens at the bottom. You've seen what's growing here. One of the things that I've learned is that you have to keep cycling. You have to keep growing, starting seeds, getting seeds going so that you can put them into either the hydroponic setup, which I have, or you can take and reseed the plants that you're growing in the soil-based bins. And what I've found is that the bins, they'll go, depending on what's growing in those, they'll go for like 2 or 3 months, and they'll just keep growing, and you can just keep harvesting and harvesting. But at a certain point in time, these bins are not going to sustain life forever, and things are going to start diminishing in the amount of growth. And then what you need to do is then replant the bins, put new soil in, replant it, and then start over with seeds. So what you want to be doing is you want to be looking at your growth. You want to be checking how much growth you have. Is it diminishing? Are you starting to see your leaves wilting? Are things starting to die? If you're getting to like your 3-month period where if you start seeing certain plants are not doing well, you either need to say, okay, how do I do this differently? Maybe you need to go hydroponic with them, or maybe you need to actually just replant and start over. And there's all different things that I've found in the last 6 months or so that I've been working on this, is that plants are different. They work differently in soil. They work differently with the solution as far as the nutrient, and you have to really figure out what you need to do with them, with the plants. Some plants, I put nutrient in the water when I'm feeding the soil and putting the water into the soil. I've gone over this in other videos about how much you should water, how much you shouldn't. You don't want to turn your soil into basic soil mush and then offer up all kinds of areas for adding all kinds of fungus and other things that can grow in there. So you really have to be on that and watching that. One of the things that I've picked up from feedback on the videos in the last few weeks is that I had some really good feedback from the guys from Metropolis Farms, who I have a lot of respect for what they're doing, seeing what they're doing in Philadelphia. I got feedback from Jack Griffin, who's the head of that, and he told me to go to take my soil and start out with going with Coconut Coir, which is a whole different base. It's non-nutrient base. Soil has nutrients, and a lot of the things you really don't even need to put nutrient in it, but when you're talking about this much soil, it's good to throw in a little bit of nutrient in there, like I've said in my other videos. But taking Jack's advice, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these bins and I'm actually going to replant one of the bins once it starts going down to a lower level of growth. I'm going to replant that with Coconut Coir, and then I'm going to try to see how that works, do some comparisons, and then I'll have a video about that as well. So good thing about creating YouTube videos is you can put them out there, you get feedback. Thank you very much. Thanks, Jack. And what I'll do is I'll implement that into what I'm doing and then give you some feedback. So that's just another thing, another tidbit of information for the day. So I hope that was helpful. Just a really short video today. You can watch my other videos. I hope that you subscribe to Snap Fresh Farm. Go and watch those videos. Check out how this all came together. I go over pricing. I go over a bunch of different angles as to how to keep yourself going if you're going to start growing lettuce in your basement and other greens, so that you can support your family with salads literally almost every day. You can keep picking at this and taking salad lettuce out of here, and it works out really well. So have a good one. Take care. Bye.